number of different nonprofit environmental conservation organizations, sort of being a segue between someone who cares about something and giving them the opportunity to do something to make a difference policy-wise.
My name is Ed Hauser. I started this about 10 years ago. My background is a computer process control engineer. And when I went to my first meetings and went through the first public processes 10 years ago, I saw the processes were broken. 10 years later, it's getting worse and worse in the Northeast Ohio community, where you have the Port Authority, for one instance, taking over the lakefront. We went through this 3-year plan with Mayor Campbell, and that's in the garbage can. We spent all this time and money, and now we're doing it again. So what I focus on, I have my opinions about what's important in this community, but I follow how the government and the business community run processes here to develop our community. And it's broken, completely broken. And that's what my mission is. I tell my story, and but along the way I try to inform everybody that we need to do things differently, but we're going to continue to fail. We're a failing city, and if we don't change things and people don't get involved and really dog our public officials and leaders, we're going to continue to fail because the processes are broken.
Mark?
That's a tough act to follow. I'm Mark Lefkowitz. I'm the web editor for Green City Blue Lake, which is a new institute within the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, formerly known as Eco City Cleveland. My background is as a journalist. I sort of switched over to writing in an advocacy mode a few years ago, talking about the general topic of what we can call sustainability. And what we're interested in is in advocating, educating around how do we transform every aspect of our society to meet the greatest challenges of today, being, top of the list would be global climate change. But that being said, I'm very interested, and I'm here today to sort of figure out how all of us sort of can work together in sort of a common purpose, because we have a lot of energy. We're sort of all pulling in the same direction. So I'm very interested in seeing how we can recapture some of that energy that has worked within this blogging community to actually facilitate some conversation, which is the beginning of advocacy and following a topic through filling in those gaps where the traditional mainstream media hasn't. That's where I hope we can get to this evening.
I do too, Mark. Let's all keep that thought in mind as we go through now. Okay.
I'm Michael Leto, and my background is as an artist and a designer, and I've worked with Mark and Ed before in different kind of sustainability projects. What I do, but I'm really here tonight wearing the hat of a faculty member from the Cleveland Institute of Art, and wondering how we can get the Institute not only into the 20th century, but maybe the 21st century, and bringing creativity and design into the processes that this city does. A lot of potential there for the energy that school has that's completely untapped.
Great. That's great. How about you?
I'm Sean Giesing. I'm relatively new to the concept of advocacy, so hopefully, I'm a college student, by the way, at Lorraine County Community College. So hopefully some of the knowledge I gain here tonight I can take back and maybe enact in some shape or form on my campus.
Okay. Bill?
I'm usually introduce myself as a Midtown Brews groupie and an I-Open groupie. I blog on Real Neo. I'm interested in solar and wind, and was one of the spaceship Earth people back in the 70s that was afraid we might mess up this planet. I would rather have been wrong. So, but I'm into all of the sustainability things and need to promote, lest I get carried away making a fool of myself. Tonight I'm promoting the solar tour I will actually be on it, but it's through Green Energy Ohio. It's a chance, it's this weekend, so it's a chance for people to come and see things that people are doing, trying to be more sustainable. Solar, wind, greenhouses, there's a straw bale house. This is just one of their tours, when I happen to be on, but there are a bunch on the Green Energy Ohio website, if anybody's interested for their local area. And this is part of the National American Solar Energy Society one, so anybody who is out there in Radioland can go to the American Solar Energy website and maybe find a local solar tour in their area, which is pretty neat.
Let's go back there and then we'll end up with you three. Stephanie?
I'm Stephanie Spear, founder and executive director of Earthwatch Ohio. Our newspaper is up there. Our current issue just hit the streets yesterday, so feel free to take a copy. The mission of Earthwatch Ohio is to educate citizens on environmental issues, encourage people to implement sustainable practices in their everyday lives. But virtually, the publication helps promote the sustainability movement across our state. So we're working on providing solution-based sustainable projects in our publication so that, one, people can learn how to get involved, and then two, they can use those sustainable projects as a model that they can implement in their own community. Another project of Earthwatch Ohio is we're working to expedite the renewable energy future of our region. So we're doing that in a lot of different types of projects. We now have an energy issue button on our website so people can check that out. So that's one of my passions now, is to try and get us off of coal and onto renewables. But I really feel that there's so much work to be done that we need to engage with everyday individuals throughout our state and our community to encourage them to get involved as well.
Is Eric back there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Eric.
I'm Eric Purcell. I'm with Insivia. I'm one of Andrew's little worker bees here. As an advocate of Cleveland, I'm also on the board of directors for the Cleveland Professional 2030 Club here in Cleveland. So I've been a long-time advocate of all things great in Cleveland and trying to retain the talent and great people we have in Cleveland and here and showing them what we have to offer. I'm kind of here tonight as a learning experience as well too, learn a little bit more about the environmental side of things too as well, and hearing your thoughts, and maybe I can take some of those things back with me to my membership amongst the 2030 Club and share it with them and help promote it even further throughout Cleveland.
Great. Jim?
Yeah, my name's Jim Herget. I'm an entrepreneur in Midtown, also a physical fitness nut. I'll be on Medicare next year at 65. And my major interest in advocacy is repurposing of life for those individuals over 60 years old, and the demarginalizing of people over 60. So we're sons of the 60s, or sons and daughters of the 60s, and we're still as cantankerous as ever. And we are working with Gloria and Tim and the fellow that's not here on projects that are related to the repurposing of life after 60, re-engaging, staying in the game, and staying in shape physically and mentally. That's what I mean.
And make sure you tell them Gloria is only the mascot because she's not that old yet.
No, Gloria's a boss.
What's the name of your initiative?
This is called Act 3. And Act 3 basically means that 0 to 30 is your Act 1, and then 30 to 60 is Act 2. 0 to 30, you try to get away from your parents. And 30 to 60, you're trying to raise a family. And 60 up is my time. I'm trying to do what I want to do and get re-engaged, repurposed, and drive forward. Because we're all going to live this, theoretically, if Dr. Roizen's right, we're all going to live to be 100. So we got 40 years. We're going to, we're not just got to do something. Make a contribution.
Julie?
My name is Julie Morse Havikhurst. I'm here with Jim. I am a CIA graduate and a CWRU graduate, so perhaps I can contribute some way eventually.